Good morning, dear students. A warm welcome to all of you for our today's online session for the subject Science and Technology Section B. I hope all of you have enjoyed your Ganpati vacation. At the same time, all of you are safe and healthy in your houses. So we start with our today's session. Before the vacation, we have completed with the explanation for chapter number 9, Environmental Management. Today, we are going to start with the discussion of textual exercise for this chapter. So, I request all of you to be present with a textbook and a pencil for marking certain answers. So let us begin with the discussion of textual exercise. I request all of you to refer page number 107. Page number 107. If you see the textual exercise, question number 1 is match the columns. So entire question number 1 we are going to omit. Why we are going to omit? Because if you see column A, it is the types of waste, harmful waste, domestic waste, and that part is removed out from your syllabus. If you refer page number 101, you have the classification chart ahead of you. So that entire chart they have removed out in the reduction of your syllabus. So question number 1, that is match the columns, we are not going to study, neither we are going to write in the notebook. So we start from question number 2. Complete the statements using the given options and justify those statements. Options are given to you in the bracket. So the first question is, of the abiotic factors that affect biodiversity, by far the most important is climate. So out of the 4 options, that is geographic favorability, climate, weather, observatory. So out of this 4, climate is the correct answer. Now this statement, if you just refer in the Google net and all, there is a little bit of confusion. Somewhere the answer is given geographic favorability, some places the answer is climate. So we will take climate as the correct answer because it is the climate which affects your basic needs. It is the climate which decides the main occupations of living beings. It decides the entire structure. So the answer is climate. Now they have also told us justify those statements. In short, you have to give the justification. So to mark the justification, all of you refer page number 96. All of you refer page number 96. You can see the paragraph changes in weather. In the center of the page, you have changes in weather, second paragraph. So the second paragraph, in between you can see one line, first line of that paragraph. It influences our basic needs. Under the heading changes in weather, second paragraph, first line, towards the end of the line, it influences is given. So little bit change you will make there. You will write climate of a particular region. Or if you want the direct answer, you can refer page number 97, blue block. Page number 97, blue block. You can see in that block point number 2. That part is removed from the syllabus, but that small part we can take as explanation. So the second point there is the climate of a particular region. Add this part is the only abiotic factor. Add this 3-4 words. Climate of a particular region. I hope all of you have got the explanation. Page number 97. You can see in the center of the page the blue colored block. Second point over there. Climate of a particular region is the only abiotic factor which influences and helps to determine the diet, clothing, housing, occupations and lifestyle of the people of that region. So little bit you have to make the change. Next statement is a description of the climatic conditions of short duration in a particular area is, out of the 4 options, the correct answer is weather. You know what is weather. Weather is atmospheric conditions at a specific time at a particular place and they are of short duration. So the answer is weather. So justification, in the first part you will give the definition of weather. This is on page number 96, the very first line of the chapter under the heading weather and climate. Atmospheric conditions at a specific time at a particular place are referred to as weather. For this point, weather depends upon, just go to the paragraph near that diagram 9.1. Just go to the paragraph near diagram 9.1. Weather depends upon the prevailing conditions of the air, and this from here you have to add and is related to a specific location and specific time. So up till here you can mark, and this part you have to just add it. Now this is the description from my side. Whatever you feel relevant, you can answer on your own. You can give the justification on your own. We move on to the next statement. Irrespective of the progress of human beings, we have to think about geographical favorability. Now here there is no such type of explanation based on this geographical factors in the entire chapter. So no need of writing any justification. You only write it as a fill-up. Fourth one, establishments where various climatic factors are recorded, they are called as observatory. For the explanation, just refer page number 97. Page number 97. You can see on page number 97 the blue colored block. Below the blue colored block you have the paragraph while ascertaining the climate. Now here this paragraph you have to keep in mind and formulate or form the statement in your own words. So I have formed over here. You can just refer in the textbook. I have made use of that paragraph. A review of earlier studies of various aspects of climate is required for ascertaining the climate of a particular region, which is done by meteorology department. This department has observatories equipped with modern instruments and technology for recording the observations. So that paragraph below the blue block, you can make use of the paragraph and just write it in your own word about the observatory. With this, we complete question number 2, that is complete the statements by using the options. Now we start with the brief answers. Question number 3. Question number 3, the first question is, how is first aid provided to victims of disasters who are injured? How is first aid provided to victims of disasters who are injured? All of you refer page number 105 for the answer. Now here they have not specified about the victims, whether there is any you can say problem with the airway or breathing. So in general, whatever is the victim, it may be the victim of bleeding, it may be the victim of burns, breathing problem. So in all the cases, what first aid you are going to provide, you have to answer in short. I will mark and give you the answer. You can shorten down the points and write it in your own words. So the first statement is, emergency measures or first aid practices to be followed in case of any disaster for the victims are as follows. Here this part you can mark on page number 105 above the heading basic principles of first aid. You can see in the center of the page you have a blue colored heading, basic principles of first aid. Above that you have the paragraph, the main objective. In that paragraph, fifth line, the last word is emergency measures. So from there you can start, emergency measures or first aid practices to be followed. This part you can add in the case of any disaster for the victims are as follows, and then you can continue marking on the same page. Below that only, basic principles of first aid, life and rescue citation, ABC, airway. If the victim has difficulty breathing, the head should be held in a backward sloping position or the chin should be raised so that the respiratory passage remains open. I am going fast because everything is to be marked in continuation. Next is breathing. Point number 2. If breathing has stopped, the victim should be given artificial ventilation by mouth to mouth rescue sedation. C is circulation. Right below it, point number 3. If the victim is unconscious, then after giving mouth-to-mouth respiration twice, the heart should be pressed down hard by pressing the chest with both the palms. These two actions should be repeated alternately about 15 times. This is called CPR, that is cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Now this point I have given you, I have marked the entire point. You can shorten down the point. You can write over here to bring the circulation to normal, because here you can see it helps to bring the circulation back to normal. If the victim is unconscious, and to bring the circulation back to normal, cardiopulmonary resuscitation CPR should be practiced. In short, you can write this point. No need of writing the entire history. I have just given the marking to you in your own words. Now the main techniques, writing the main techniques is important. Which techniques? Airway, breathing, circulation. This heading, that should be important. Now after that, on the same page, you can see in that yellow colored block, if the victim is bleeding or if the victim has any fracture, then what first aid you have to give, that also is very important. Bleeding, if the victim is injured and bleeding through the wound, then the wound should be covered with an antiseptic pad and pressure applied on it for 5 minutes with either a thumb or a palm. Below that you have about fracture, so that also you have to write. If any bone is fractured, it is essential that the fractured part be immobilized. It can be done with the help of any available wooden rods, batons, rulers. If there is an impact on the back or vertebral column, the patient should be kept immobile on a firm stretcher. You can also give it as points. So point number A will be your basic principles, life and resuscitation. Under A, you will have that 1, 2 and 3, airway, breathing, circulation. This you can give as point number 2. This you can give as point number 3. Point number 4, continue marking in the same block. If victims have burn injuries, advise the victim to hold the injured part under clean and cold flowing water for at least 10 minutes. Now if you turn your page, on page number 106, the very first block, yellow colored block, you have the rice remedy. For which patients? For injuries like sprains, twisting, contusion. So that also, in case the injury is among these 3, then what treatment, what first aid you are going to give? In short, you have to write sprain, twisting and contusion. In these 3 cases, that rice technique which is given in the yellow block, just shorten down. Let the person rest. Apply ice pack on the injured area, then massage it gently and keep the affected area elevated. So through this question, you have answered what first aid you are going to give to the victims of the disasters who are injured. They have not mentioned that the victim is bleeding or the victim's leg is sprained. Now this question I can twist and ask you in the exam. I can ask you, what first aid would you provide to a victim whose hand is fractured in the disaster? Or what first aid you will provide to a person who has become unconscious during a disaster? So if such type of questions are asked, that the person's hand is fractured or the person is unconscious, then that part of the answer only you will write. What you will do if the patient is unconscious? You are going to follow the circulation part. So this part you are going to write about the circulation. Or if I ask you that the person's hand is fractured, then you are going to write about this part. The bone is fractured, it is essential. So what you will write, that the fractured part should be immobilized. Then it can be done with whatever available things over there. So in short, so now this is the general question for all the types of injuries. So we have mentioned everything and I expect you to write everything in the notebook. You can shorten the points and write it down. With this we complete question number 3A. Now we move to the next question, question number 3B. State the scientific and eco-friendly methods of waste management. State the scientific and eco-friendly methods of waste management. For the answer, keep a rough book ready to mark down the explanation. points I can mark for you on page number 102. So refer page number 102 and keep a pencil ready for its explanation. Now they have asked us the scientific and eco-friendly methods. So if you see on page number 102, that towards the last of the page, towards the end of the page, you have that white colored block with the diagram. Scientific and eco-friendly waste management techniques. So one by one you have to select the technique and give explanation in short. So the first technique right on the top is separation and categorization of waste. So headings you will get on page number 102. Explanation I have written from my side. Whatever you feel you can write from your side on your own also. Those who want, you can copy it from here. Now separation and categorization means whatever wastes are accumulated, from that you have to separate the dry and the wet waste. So in this method, dry and wet wastes are separated, stored and later collected for further use. So this explanation in short you have to write it down. See, after separation, the next is composting. So composting, what you will write in short, good quality manure can be produced by composting or decomposition of spoiled leftover food, fruits, vegetables, etc. So this is the composting they have given in the textbook. Explanation in short you have to give from your side by using the knowledge from the lesson. First technique is separation and categorization of waste, wherein you are going to separate the dry and the wet waste. Second is composting. What happens in this technique? You get good quality of manure by the decomposition of the kitchen wastes. The third is safe landfill. Now under this point I am going to cover safe landfill sites, and below the diagram you have industrial solid waste management, that is landfill method. So both you can combine and you can write this explanation. Solid wastes which are produced is disposed of in secured landfills whose site should be at least 2 kilometers away from human habitation and water bodies. The landfills are layered with clay and plastic, and then the garbage which is spread on it is allowed to decompose naturally. Apart from this, you will get the explanation of the landfill from the sites, Google Net and all. So from that also you can write about the landfill. After that, the fourth one is vermicomposting. Right below the safe landfill sites in the diagram you can see vermicomposting. It is nothing but a sister of composting, but in this technique you make use of earthworms. So earthworms are used to convert the solid waste into manure or compost, and this vermicompost obtained is used for agricultural purposes. In short, those children who want to write, formation of compost or production of compost from earthworms is known as vermicomposting. Enough. I want to only know the technique, which technique you are going to use, and a small part of explanation about that technique. After vermicomposting, you can see next to it you have pyrolysis. In this method, the waste is heated to a high temperature to obtain biogas and bioelectricity. Then and there in the bracket they have given burning of the waste at high temperature to get biogas and bioelectricity. And the last point is above pyrolysis you have in the diagram incineration. Biomedical waste generated from the medical sectors like hospitals, laboratories, etc. is burnt in incinerators to kill the pathogens. I hope you have followed question number 3b thoroughly. They have asked, state the scientific and eco-friendly methods of waste management. On page number 102, towards the end of the page, that is the diagram 9.5, you have the names of all the techniques. In short, I have given the explanation. Apart from this, any other explanation which you feel easy to remember, that you can write, but the techniques, all these techniques should be covered. Now this answer I can ask anyway in the exam. Give any 2 scientific and eco-friendly methods. Give any 3. So if 2 are asked, then out of this 6, any 2 you will write. If 3 are asked, then you will provide 3 with the explanation. Next is question number 3c. Explain the relationship between weather forecasting and disaster management. This question I have slightly changed the textbook. In the textbook they have given explain with suitable examples. Not necessary. You will only change it. Explain the relationship between weather forecasting and disaster management. You know what is the work of the weather forecasting department? To forecast the weather and to make the other you can say units alert about the of upcoming disaster, and then how this forecasting helps the disaster management team to take any action. That relationship you have to mention. So here no need of any example. If you want towards the end of the answer, you can support your answer with a small example. So point number 1 for this answer, you will mark on page number 98, very first paragraph. Second paragraph, page number 98, under the heading meteorology, second paragraph. Meteorology includes the study of storms, clouds, rainfall, thunder, lightning, etc. And depending upon the study of these factors, weather forecasts are made. It is useful to common people, aviation services, fisheries, shipping, industries, as well as during natural calamities like dust storms, sandstorms, rainfall, tsunami, etc., where proper predictions are made with satellites. Little bit part is there on the next slide. So up till year, fisheries and all, you will get in the second paragraph on page number 98. This part, as well as during natural calamities, you will get in the paragraph under the heading India Meteorological Department. In that you have the second paragraph. You can see in the second paragraph you have about the natural calamities, where proper predictions are made with satellites equipped with high class technology. Second point, observatories at several locations are doing excellent work in the analysis of the information received from these satellites. This is the second last line of the second paragraph under India Meteorological Department. You have India Meteorological Department, 2 paragraphs are there. Second paragraph, second last line, you will get the second point. Observatories at several locations are doing excellent work in the analysis of the information received from these satellites. Third point, all of you refer page number 105, blue colored block. Third point, all of you refer page number 105. Now this all information and all you have got from the satellites, it is provided to the other departments. The disaster management team has come to know. Now what the team will do by this data? So you can see the blue colored block. In that blue colored block, they have given different points. Point number 1, prevention of losses and danger. Point number 2, improving tolerance. So that you are going to combine, and before that you are going to add this short part. Obtained data can be used in. Up till in you have to add. Obtained data means whatever data they have asked the question, the relationship between weather forecasting and disaster management. So all this is done by the weather forecasting department. Now the disaster management department, it has got the information, it has got the data ahead of it. What they are going to do with this obtained data? Obtained data can be used in. Then you can see on page number 105, point number 1, where I have told you blue colored block. Combine all the points. Prevention of losses and danger, improving intolerance, providing relief from disaster, minimizing the intensity and harm, intensity and extent of harm, as well as preparation to face the disaster. Up till here you have, below that you have the point. See point number 5, immediate action. So that point you modify a little bit. The data will enable the disaster management team to take immediate action in the disaster situation. So we have explained the relationship, means whatever data is received from the weather forecasting department, how it has enabled the disaster management department to carry out this various steps. So whatever obtained data, how it will help this disaster management department? It will help in the prevention of losses and danger. It will help in improving tolerance. All that points you will just combine, and the point number 5 you are just going to modify it. I hope you have got the answer. Now a good news for you is question number 3D is omitted. Why it is omitted? Because they have asked, why is e-waste harmful? Express your opinion about this. This answer is again on page number 101, that chart. You can see in that chart the 5th type of waste is electronic waste or e-waste. That is the part which is removed out from your syllabus. So question number 3D is omitted. Whatever questions are based on the reduced part of the syllabus, nothing will be asked in the exam. Once that part is gone out from the syllabus, it is fully removed. No question answers, nothing on that part. Okay, so question number 1, as I have told you, match the columns. Question number 3D is omitted. Last question, brief question, question number 3E to end up our today's session. Question number 3D, directly you can mark the answer. How will you register your individual participation in solid waste management? Means what you are going to do to manage the solid waste. Here the entire paragraph on 3R mantra, page number 103, direct marking of the answer. How will you register your individual participation? Means how you are going to help. We can register, now this part you can write from the question, we can register our individual participation in solid waste management in the following ways. Now start from page number 103, right hand side of the page, blue colored block. Point number 1, the points which they have given, accordingly you will write the points following the 3R mantra, reduce, reuse and recycle. Then point number 2, as it is given in the textbook, throwing plastic wrappers of chocolates, ice creams, biscuits, etc. into dustbins, avoiding littering, avoiding the use of plastic bags and instead using cloth bags or bags prepared from old saris, bed sheets, curtains, etc. Point number 4, using both sides of a paper for writing, reusing greeting cards and gift papers. Point number 5, avoiding use of tissue paper and preferring to use one's own handkerchief. Point number 6, using rechargeable batteries instead of lead batteries. 7, implementing various programs of solid waste management and educating, encouraging the family and society in this regard. And last point, avoiding use and throw type of articles like pens, canned cold drinks, Tetra packs should be strictly avoided. Now you can see in the textbook all the 8 points are given as it is. They are the techniques which you are going to follow to control the amount of solid waste. But I will not expect that all the 8 points you will write in your notebook. From this 8 you can select any 5 and you can write. Only the first point you should write, that is compulsory. Which is the first point? The first point is following the 3R mantra. This first point, it is compulsory. From point number 2 to point number 8, any 7 you can select. Sorry, any 4. First point you have written, I have told you write any 5. So out of the remaining 7 points from 2 to 8 you can select any 4 and write whichever you feel easy. I hope you have followed up to question number 3E. So we will wind up our today's session. We have completed all the brief questions, that is up to question number 3E. Tomorrow we will start with question number 4, that is write short notes. So before attending your tomorrow's session, just try to get answers from your side. So when you attend a session, it will be more easier for you and you will be very happy that see, we have also got the answers. After we finish the textual exercise, immediately I will be providing the additional questions for this chapter as we do every time. And after that, we are going to complete the activities. After this chapter gets over, very important, keep your ears open. We have chapter number 10. That is the only chapter which we have to complete under section B. And that chapter will be taken up by Varsha teacher from the computer department. Because the name of the chapter is Information Communication Technology, the new direction of progress. Now you might be wondering why this chapter is placed in section B of science. Because if you see the chapters of science, everywhere in between of the chapters they have given making use of ICT or making use of PowerPoint presentations. then how to prepare all these PowerPoint presentations and all you should know, and hence this chapter is included in science. Okay, so as soon as this chapter gets over, I have already informed Varsha teacher. She will be taking up the explanation of this chapter and also the notes for this chapter she will be giving to you. So before that, one day prior I will inform you, so you will also be alert and you will also read the chapter before attending that particular session. So till then, thank you from my side. See to it that your books are completed from time to time. Thank you, dear children.